Hello everyone, it's I'm mekklord, and today is a ban list day. We finally have the Forbidden and Limited and skill balance list that is due after every KC Cup. So, the last ban list that we had before this KC Cup was supremely disappointing. Did very little to hit the current top decks. And then they released better decks to push them out of the format. And also in September 2024, that ban list was extremely disappointing, hitting only 2 of the top 4 decks, which were Duel Links, Lyrillus, Star Seraph, and Fleur bullshit. Of these 4 decks, only Star Seraphs received a minor hit, and Fleur decks were like, hey, you can't make Bishbalkin anymore, except they could make Bishbalkin. Hopefully, this ban list reverses the trend. Either way, I'm gonna go into this ban list with a positive mindset. I'm gonna try and be positive about it because you know, I genuinely believe that Konami can maybe do a good job with this list. Let's start with the yeah, Forbidden and Limited list, and then we'll do the skill rebalancing. Okay. Oh, okay. So interestingly, there seem to be only unlimits and no actual hits, which I guess I should have talked about what I was expecting from this ban list before I clicked on it. I think the current format is mostly fine, but I do think that we need to address the floodgates that are seeing play in a lot of decks. Shadows obviously have Winda. Maybe that's going to be fixed with the skill changes, you don't know. Chimera has access to Invader of Darkness. Well, I guess they still have access to Invader of Darkness now. Ting Dangles have access to a plethora of flip floodgates through the Subterra Link 2, which I guess is still a thing. But I'm also in favor of bringing back some of the older decks into the forefront of, well, not necessarily the forefront of the metagame. I don't think Orcus is doing anything in 2025. Maybe I could be wrong, but I don't think that it is. Giving a boost to some of these weaker decks in order to try and push them closer to the metagame, something I can get behind. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Predator Plants. I'm not the biggest fan of a deck that has access to a skill like that. But realistically, Drago Stipilia being removed from the ban list is good news for Predator Plants. That means you can now get to play... what can you get to play, actually? I didn't realize this was in the ban list. So what were Predator Plants player doing? Oh wow, I had not realized that people were openly cutting Drago Stipilia from Predator Plant lists because Hydro was a limited one. Yeah, Predator Plants can get Planet and Drago Stipilia. Like it's no big deal. I didn't realize the situation was so dire for Predator Plants, actually. Orchestrated Babble. Cool thing for Orcus. I think it's limited 1, which conflicts with the archetypal trap cards. And some other stuff. I'm gonna look, because I genuinely don't know. I genuinely have no idea. DLM hasn't updated yet, that's how early I'm recording this. What other limited one would this be conflicting with? The Orchestrated Trap release? Yeah, that's it. Sure. Guardian Slime, limited 2. Doesn't conflict with anything, it's just if you're playing Ra, you can only have 2 of it. Yeah, it's probably fine at 3. I missed the Marek event because I was taking a break from Duel Links at that time. This is completely fine. Mind Control's also fine. IDP is also fine. It's interesting, I say, despite its power, this card's limitation will be removed in order to promote diversification in the metagame. The reason behind the limited 3 list was inherited from the previous limited 2 list, which is we're gonna lock powerful staples behind a list in order to cut access to those cards from the most powerful decks. They were already removing compulse and stuff from the limited 3 list. Now, what's left on it? Book of Eclipse? I was so scared that I was going to see Book of Eclipse next. Recurrence is a nice boost for Salmon Grade, a deck that is still very much competent in this day and age. Flamewell Counter is a nice boost for Battle Lane boxes, I guess. Orchestrated Release is free as well. Okay, I don't foresee Orcus decks doing much, but I could be wrong. and no rush changes. So this is a list that is not hitting anything as far as the cards are concerned, but freeing a lot of stuff, and I think I'm okay with that, though I would have loved to see some hits on actual floodgates and other problem cards, but maybe the skill changes are going to address those. Either way, I don't think any of these unhit is contentious or is going to ruin the game. The one that I'm the most cautious about is Draco Stapelia for Predator Plants, but yeah, I did not realize that the situation for Predator Plants was so dire. Like, I was thinking that the turn 1 Predator Plant was still like Draco Stapelia plus Blast plus Saraceniet in hand, and Hydra for the follow-up. I didn't realize that they literally could not play Draco Stapelia. Now for the skill changes, which are also going to be live at the same time. So thankfully, I can see some skill changes here hitting the top decks, which means Konami has finally realized that skills are the reason why decks are good. Isn't that isn't that funny? Isn't that swell? So let's see what changes are being brought to Reign of Shadows, Theater of the Branded Opening, and what buffs are. Oh my god, all of the Avarice skill plus these getting Magical Warrior Call also. Galactica Fusion Draw, which is kind of funny of Konami to nerf after giving the Light Galaxy deck for basically free. Joint Stampede. Okay, the are just rush stuff. I don't care nearly as much about the rush stuff. So, addressing what is the top 2 decks of the format through skill changes, I can get behind that. Let's see what those skill changes are. Alright, so it would seem that the only change to Shadows is removing their ability to summon during the opponent's turn stuff that isn't, you know, spellcaster or Shadow monsters, as far as monsters with levels go. So immediately that takes out Nibiru from the deck, which is a fine change, but considering the period of time for which Shadow has been like a top tier deck, I would have liked to see more. Because like, and GLM is not the be-all end-all of the like the definitive authority on what is and isn't the best deck in the game, right? But Shadow has been tier 1 since May 19th, 2025. So for like pretty much 4 months at this point. And I don't foresee this specific change knocking them out of the metagame. Now, a deck being the best deck of any given format isn't a bad thing. The bad thing is when this deck is not particularly fun to play against, and I don't think Shadow is a particularly fun deck to be playing against. I don't think that this is one of these decks that you want to promote the current meta game. For comparison's sake, because I was looking at like mekklords yesterday, right? And mekklords were only like meta viable for a month. Rose Dragon was a near tier 0 contender in that format, and that deck was tier 1 from August 2022 to September 2022. Like, it only dominated near the end of the Arc 5 era, right before the launch of Reigns. Even if we look at Salamangreat, Salamangreat was tier 1 in October, tier 0 in November, and then it got nerfed, and it slowly but surely faded off, even though it was still meta relevant for like most of early 2023, actually. And earlier this year, you know, Salamangreat was the best deck from late January to early April, which is 3 months. That's, if you thought that was annoying, that was less time that we had to deal with Shadows. I was kind of hoping for more hits on Shadows, but nobody on Shadows, on ladder play Shadows, or at least nobody on ladder play Shadows correctly, so. Now, a Theater of the Branded Opening. What is the change? So previously, you had to reveal a Despia or Branded Opening in your hand to add a Despia or Branded Opening and a Despia Theater of the Branded. Now you have to reveal a Despia or Branded Opening, shuffle 1 card from your hand into the deck, and then add 1 Despia or Branded Opening. So basically now your skill actually has a cost. I'm not sure if the branded like Despia deck was the one that the one skill that was like too obscene to have a cost, right? If you look at Reign of Shadows, I keep saying Red of Shadows because that's not what like, I want to say Shadows, but then I remembered Shadows. Anyway, if you look at the Reign of Shadow skill, you still get to reveal 2 cards from your hand and add any card from your deck for basically free. There is no cost associated to it, right? Why is Despia getting a harsher nerf on their skill than a deck that was dominating the metagame, that is still dominating the current metagame and has been since May, right? I don't really understand that, and I'm not really fond of this specific change. I think it's good that Despia is getting a nerf. I think like this type of nerf should have been applied to a lot more skill than just Despia, and it's kind of disappointing that it isn't the case. Oh well, as always, next ban list. Okay, so they're buffing all of the Avarice skill in order to be twice per duel, not once per turn, so technically you can activate them, use both of the activations at the same turn. Alright, sure, why not? I'm not going to read all of these. I don't think it's a point. Okay, so what's the buff to elemental order MST? You can only use the skill's first and second effects once per duel. You don't need to have anything related to like deck building construction, so they're making this one more generic, which I can appreciate. Reveal on Earth, Water, Fire, Wind monster in your hand, then shuffle 1 card from your hand into your deck, add 1 MST, that part doesn't change. Reveal 1 MST from your hand, then draw 1 card. Okay, I think this is really good as far as generic skills go. Oh, you can still only activate 1 effect per turn. I still don't think this is, like, competitively viable. But certainly it is better than what it used to be, and as we keep getting more and more powerful archetypal skills, and archetype skills tend out to be a sorry excuse for pushing specific decks over others, I think it is more important now than ever to have good generic skills. This is close. Not powerful enough, but close. Book of Moon. Oh no, they had a typo on the... Oh no! They made a mistake! Oh, Konami. I don't think I'm going to reveal a Mystical Space Typhoon whilst I'm playing the Book of Moon skill. Oh, Konami. Oh man, typical Konami. And what's this? The beginning of main phase, drawing cards. Okay, that's the breaker skill that they completely it changed, right? Oh wow, it's literally not the same. Oh wow, I don't know if it's better or worse. I think it might actually be worse, because they removed the part where you get to add breaker for free. Galactic Fusion Draw is now once per duel, where it used to be twice per duel. Okay. That's actually a huge hit for the deck, but I don't care about Rush. This is not twice per duel, it used to be once per duel, which is cool. Joint Tech Rex, best guy. What does this do? Oh, and now this is no longer once per duel. Okay. So this ban list didn't really do anything. Right? I think post ban list, Shadows is still the best deck. Despia is already a deck that on its way out and is even less playable now. And hopefully the contents of the new main box, which if leaks are to be believed, will in fact contain Spirit Stuff, Sword Soul, and Fluenderies. Well, I guess we're equipping that to help fix the format, help the format. Yeah, kind of a disappointing ban list. I feel like it did not really address the big issues with this metagame, which is something that I've been saying for a while actually. This is not the first or the last ban list that is going to be disappointing. But this one in particular was a missed opportunity, despite the fact that it actually took a look at some push skills and decided to do some very minor nerfs to them. So that's kind of disappointing. I think this is another ban list miss, and I'm already looking forward to the November 2025 ban list, because the November 2024 ban list was a real game changer. But what do you think? Do you think this ban list is good or bad, and why? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the current format and on this ban list, and I do hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, and make sure to let me know by liking the video, commenting something about this ban list, and subscribing if you haven't already. If you'd like to support me further, you can also check out my Ko-fi in the video description, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge, or become a YouTube channel member. I would now like to thank my Ko-fi donators in the forms of Dingus, Sardage Boy Zero, Jimmy Zinnia, Yannick A. Sile, Mark Lu, Fortune 16, Yabi Sakaguru, All Price, and Exorcist. And I would like to thank my YouTube channel members Stern A, Crimson Reaper 5, Troy Bolton, Genius Wannabe, and Seal Luge. Thank you all for the support. There's always next ban list. I'm glad that it's not going to impact decks in a way that push people to play the pre-nerf version of decks on ladder before things change. Realistically, I guess that this is not the hardest to implement in tournaments. You just make it so shuttles can't play Nibiru, for instance, and people can't play Despia. Sorry, Grant. I know that you're such a huge fan of Despia Turbo. But yeah, disappointing ban list. Okay, you do. Thank you all for watching the video once again. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.